Paris this fall is telling a very different fashion story than what we've been used to in recent years. The streets are no longer dominated by hypersexualized silhouettes or gimmicky, one-season trends designed for social media shock value. Instead, there's been a quiet but powerful shift, one that's redefining what it means to look expensive, aspirational, and truly stylish. This season, nobody wants to look cheap. Nobody wants to look like they're trying too hard. The new goal is to be admired and respected, not because of what you reveal, but because of the elegance, refinement, and authority you carry without showing a thing. There's an unspoken truth in fashion right now. People are exhausted by the constant overexposure, the look-at-me desperation of dressing purely for attention. And in Paris, you can see it everywhere. The women and men who stand out most are the ones whose clothes whisper, not scream, whose presence makes you turn your head, not because they're flaunting something, but because there's an aura you can't quite decode. This is exactly why brands like Kite and The Row have exploded this year. They've mastered the art of mystery, of dressing in a way that says, I'm in control, without saying a single word. The tailoring this fall is sharper. Shoulders are strong, but not cartoonishly exaggerated. There's a balance of structure and ease that makes every piece look intentional. Coats are long, sweeping, and carry weight, almost like armor for the city. You see cashmere and fine wools in rich, deep neutrals, charcoal, camel, black, midnight navy. Every detail, from the quality of the buttons to the precision of the stitching, sends a message. I care, but I don't need you to know how much. Paris street style right now is a study in texture and restraint. A soft turtleneck tucked into perfectly cut trousers, a minimal leather belt, a pair of beautifully made boots, no loud logos, no excessive sparkle, because when you understand the language of luxury, you don't need to shout it. And psychologically, this shift is fascinating. The current climate, economic uncertainty, social media fatigue, and the oversaturation of fast trends is pushing people toward clothes that last, both physically and aesthetically. The desire is not to impress in a fleeting moment, but to hold attention over time. This season is also about reclaiming the power of elegance. We've been sold this false idea for years that empowerment comes from revealing more, from blurring the lines until everything looks like a costume. But in Paris this fall, the real power is in how you withhold, how you leave something to the imagination, how you carry yourself so that people want to know more without you giving them anything for free. It's sophistication as a form of quiet defiance. The outfits making the biggest impact aren't complex, they're precise. A perfectly draped trench over a monochrome base, a knitted dress that skims the body without clinging, a blazer so well tailored it could replace an entire wardrobe. And when accessories do appear, they're purposeful. A structured tote in flawless leather, a silk scarf, a vintage watch. These aren't add-ons, they're extensions of the story the outfit is telling. Paris right now is proving that fashion has shifted from spectacle to substance. That being admired in 2025 has nothing to do with shock and everything to do with intention. It's about how you make people feel in your presence, not just how you look in a picture. And that's exactly what the best-dressed Parisians understand. They're not dressing to be liked, they're dressing to be remembered. For more of these deep dive conversations and fashion breakdowns, make sure you're following GTWJ Mag on Instagram, where we unpack these trends even further and explore the psychology behind the style. Because this fall in Paris isn't just about clothes, it's about a cultural reset in how we define true luxury. And here's the thing most people won't admit. This shift isn't just about aesthetics, it's about social positioning. In Paris this fall, the way you dress signals not only your taste, but your values. Minimalism, when done well, communicates that you're not swayed by passing trends. It says you understand investment, patience, and discipline. It's the visual equivalent of speaking in a calm, measured tone while everyone else is shouting. There's also a subtle rejection of fashion's old performance culture. For years, street style during Fashion Week was a competitive sport. Bright colors, wild patterns, outrageous layering, all staged for the cameras. But if you walk through Le Marais or Saint-Germain now, you'll notice the ones actually turning heads aren't trying to be street-style stars. They're people whose looks are seamless enough to feel lived in, yet refined enough to hold a room. That's the new luxury effort that looks effortless. And this isn't about becoming invisible, quite the opposite. The women and men in Paris who embody this look have a magnetic presence. It's the kind of style that commands a certain respect, even from strangers. You can feel it when they pass you on the street. Posture upright, pace steady, no frantic energy, no constant checking of themselves in reflective windows. Clothes in harmony with the person wearing them. One of the strongest elements in this Parisian approach is knowing what not to wear. This fall, you won't see the best dressed people in anything overly trendy, skin-bearing, just for shock, or drowning in statement accessories. They edit, they strip away, they focus on the perfect cut of a coat, the quality of a knit, the richness of a leather bag. It's the discipline to leave the house in something you can wear from morning coffee to a late night dinner without a single adjustment, and still look like you belong in every space you enter. Psychologically, this style communicates boundaries. It's a form of armor, but not in a cold or aggressive way. It's an armor of self-respect. In a world where attention has become cheap and constant exposure is the norm, this understated Parisian look says, "You don't get all of me." And that is what makes it so powerful. The fall 2025 Paris trend isn't about reinventing your entire wardrobe overnight. It's about refining it, replacing 5 disposable tops with 1 immaculate silk blouse, swapping the novelty heels for 1 pair of beautifully made boots that will carry you through years. Learning that sometimes the most powerful statement in a room full of noise is to say less, but say it with conviction. This is why, when you see these women and men walking in Paris right now, they don't just look fashionable, they look untouchable. Not in a cold way, but in a way that makes you think they live on a higher plane. And that's not about wealth. That's about taste, discipline, and a refusal to compromise on how they present themselves to the world. Fall in Paris this year is proof. Style without substance is dead. True elegance, the kind that makes people remember you long after you've gone, is back. And this time, it's here to stay.